Welcome in, summertime edition of Oilers Nation Everyday, July 11th. Welcome back. Feels weird not doing it every day.
It is kind of, you kind of sit there and you're like, what am I missing? I feel like there's a chunk of my life just gone at the moment.
Yeah, I find myself generally being bored a lot now, just kind of sitting around at home and not doing a whole heck of a lot. But anyways, we are live at Sherwood Ford, the Giant. Liam, you want to know what makes Sherwood Ford, the Giant so special?
Yes, I already know the answer.
All right.
Sherbucks.
Sherbucks. So they have a coffee machine in the back. What do you got there?
I had a little French vanilla today.
I went with a vanilla mocha.
Ooh, fancy boys.
Give that a whiff.
Sherwood Park. Wow.
That smells
a little
good.
Hot chocolate in there too.
Oh, that's a mocha.
Yeah. Right,
Usually I don't like my coffees that sweet, but when in Sherwood Park at Sherwood Ford the Giant, and when you have the opportunity to go to Sherbucks, which is just right back there. Right there.
You see it?
You got to take advantage. Anyways, there's that. It's also their transparent, no-hassle pricing when you're purchasing a new or used vehicle. Showroom's buzzing today. We got this cool Mach E4X behind us. Look at the door handles. I guess
what door handles?
Exactly. Welcome into Oilers Nation every day.
Oh, look at this too.
That's where you charge it because it's electric.
Now that's electric.
Welcome into what we hope is an electric edition of the show.
Yes.
As always, live from the Sports Closet studio, which again, we're taking on the road today. Check them out, sportscloset.ca. We are live on the Oilers Nation YouTube, where Wise Kyle is in with the first comment. And he says, hopefully we can get our RFAs signed for 5.5 or less. Leave us with some room for a defensive upgrade, more depth scoring, and speed. Wishful thinking, I think, at 5.5. At first, I was always saying 5. Then you see the Byram deal come in. You see that Noah Cates deal in Philly, and I'm like,
the new Hook deal today too. I know there's a lot.
What was the new Hook deal?
4 years, 2.9, but they got term on it, so they were able to get him down a little bit. I don't think Ryan McLeod's going in there to get. She maybe is wanting term, and maybe that's beneficial to the team, to be honest.
Well, if you can get him at 4 years under 3, that has the chance to turn into a value deal down the road. I'm not sure if you can afford it right now. I'm just using Noah Cates as a comparable, 6'1", 24-year-old left winger. Last season in 82 games, he had 13 goals and 25 assists. Okay, 82 games he did that. You go look at what Ryan McLeod was able to accomplish in an injury-riddled campaign, 11 goals in 57 games. So again, if Noah Cates is out there getting 2 years by 2.6, we might be foolish to think Ryan McLeod's coming in around 2.
Yeah, I think now that we're getting closer to the arbitration, it's
concerning.
It is a little bit concerning. Well, I think the date was August 4th, so they have just under a month to maybe tackle that and get it done before it gets too late and you kind of get screwed one way or the other, right? So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting because if this doesn't go well for the Oilers, then it's likely they have to probably move on from someone and kind of adjust their plans a little bit.
Well, the thing that happens is if McLeod does go to ARB and the Oilers are stuck with an arbitration they don't like, you do reopen a 72-hour buyout window. Now, you might be sitting there being like, who the hell do you buy out? It's not ideal. You could probably dump Warren Foegele for nothing, but if no team was going to bite and you needed to save $2.1 million, buying out Warren Foegele is not going to kill you. No. I want him around. I've been vocal about that on the show many times, but that's not going to make or break things.
I think they would. You'd probably be able to move him. Yeah, I would guess. Like CC would be the one, honestly, I would look to buy out.
But then you don't have a replacement there. I'd rather lose my third line left winger than my top or second pairing, even right D-man.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's the problem they would have too is now next season you have the Connor Brown bonus as well. Hopefully he hits 10 games, and then whatever it is on that. What did you say? 1 something for the year after on Foegele?
Yeah, it would be $1 million as the dead money on Foegele.
So you would say there'd be $4 million dead on your cap. It's probably a situation you wanted to avoid, and hopefully they can just get something done with McLeod and they don't even go to the court.
We're gonna get to your listener questions in the Oilers Nation YouTube chat in just a bit. See what you're all up to. But I got a new article up on the site today, OilersNation.com. Liam, what's the title of my article?
Next summer's cap picture for the Edmonton Oilers.
You walked me right into this beautifully. Let me take you through the numbers that I kind of crunched. I went through the exercise because I saw a lot of people being like, oh, your cap picture for next year, it's screwed because of this Connor Brown bonus. And, counter argument number one is the biggest concern for the Oilers is being as competitive as you can be next season. It's a win now mode, and getting Connor Brown at $775K makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a big win in and of itself, and you got to sacrifice a little. Next year's cap. If we use Cap Friendly's current projection of $87.5 million, that leaves the Oilers next season, as of right now, $18.9 million in cap space with 7 forwards, 4 defensemen, 2 goalies on the roster.
Okay.
Let's assume McLeod and Bouchard are both getting 2-year bridge deals that equal out about $5.7 million in cap space.
Okay.
That's maybe a little on the low end, but I think it's about right. If one of them is 2.1, the other one is 3.6.
Yeah,
we're close,
somewhere
I think, right?
in that ballpark anyway.
So now you're up to a 15-man roster with $10 million in space. Let's say Dylan Holloway, Raphael Lavoie, Philip Broberg, Marcus Niemelainen. Those are the RFAs next year. I took Niemelainen out of the equation. Vinny Desharnais is a UFA. I looped him in with that group. So again, Holloway, Lavoie, Broberg, Desharnais. Let's say they each average $1.25 million per year to get them on new deals next summer, which is probably fair. Like Lavoie will be cheaper. Desharnais should be a little cheaper. If Holloway and Broberg pop, they could be a little more. If they don't pop, they're probably right around that range.
And Desharnais would be a UFA.
UFA.
Okay.
But I don't think no one's giving Desharnais $2+ million next
They
year.
might even just sign him midway through the season.
They might.
They probably won't make it that far.
So anyways, averaging $1.25 million for those guys is another $5 million off the books. Now you're up to 19 players on the roster. Once you take away Connor Brown's $3.25 million bonus, that leaves you with $5 million remaining. 10 forwards, 72 goalies.
The good news is a lot of guys are still very much locked up, and you would need to replace, obviously, Connor Brown. You could even just replace him with Connor Brown. You could just re-sign him and bring him back. So the good news is, yes, a lot of guys are locked in. The big question marks, I think, even are going to be the year after, I guess. It'll be the summer of Draisaitl, but I guess that's thinking a bit too far down the line.
It's a bit down the road. So again,
but also, Borgo maybe can take a jump. There's Jaden Gruby, maybe he has a really good season in Bakersfield and go. People kind of shit on the Oilers prospects a little bit, but I actually think they're in a good spot because a lot of guys are close to being able to make that jump.
And you don't need top 6 forwards. You need bottom 6 forwards.
You need bottom 6 forwards. Petrov, I think, was the best player at the camp over the weekend. You got Max Warner as well. These guys aren't just.
There's a lot of people who are very high on Max Warner.
I don't think
12 months from now we might be talking about him being a bubble guy.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think all those guys are obviously going to make the team next season. 2 seasons from now, sorry, but they're guys who are going to be within the conversation.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. So just again, to walk through the exercise, 18.9 million, that shrinks down to about 15.7 with the Connor Brown bonus.
Yeah.
McLeod and Bouchard bring that down to 10. The quartet, we'll call them, of Holloway, Lavoie, Broberg, and Desharnais brings you down to 5. You got to replace Warren Fogle you got to replace probably Matthias Janmark or Warren Fogle for $1 million. That brings you down to $4 million. If Connor Brown plays really well, bring him back 4x4. Yeah. Boom, you got enough money to do it, right? Mm-hmm. If he doesn't play well, you have $4 million to go replace him somewhere. The point is, and again, at that point, you would have 12 forwards, 72 goalies on the roster. You're cap compliant with Brown back at $4 million and basically the whole roster back and intact. There are ways they could save money next year. You could look at a Jack Campbell buyout next summer if you needed to. Or you could try trade him with a pick or retained money, whatever. Mm-hmm. Cody Ceci, you could look to move. If Broberg pops, you could maybe look at moving a guy like Brett Kulak next summer. Maybe that's a little bit more appetizing. The point, and you made it, is that the big names are locked up. And yes, they're going to be tied up against the cap. That's also assuming it's 87.5. I've heard some people say it could go up to 89, 88, 90.
Finally.
Well, finally, right? It needs to take a big jump at some point. I think a lot of people are worried about what the cap picture will look like next summer. And kind of the point of me outlining it is, one, they got better this coming season with the Brown thing, and they had to do that. Mm-hmm. And they're actually not that screwed next year because the cap's going to jump up and there's no major names for them to re-sign. So taking on that dead space. Also, Ken Holland probably doesn't care because he won't be here next year, but that's a totally different conversation. Yeah. The jump up is just going to help you bring back everybody. Even if it's a little offset by Brown's dead money, you don't have big names to sign, so you could afford to take the dead money next year. The year after, you can't do the same thing because, you said, Leon Draisaitl's up, and Evan Bouchard at that point could be up again. Ryan McLeod could be up again. You'll have other important pieces to sign, but this year gave and the fact that Ken Holland was willing to commit term to Hyman, to Nugent, to Kane, all these guys. The fact that Draisaitl and McDavid were signed long term. Nurse, I know, is signed long term as well. Stuart Skinner, 3-year deal instead of a 2-year or a 1-year bridge, right? They got that extra year out of him. All of that for key pieces gave them the ability to make this Brown deal. And I don't think it hurts a little, but it's not going to kill them next summer. They're not going to have to trade Zach Hyman next summer or do whatever, or let Bouchard walk in 2 years because of it. It's not that much of a killer is my point.
Yeah, I'm with you. To be honest, I hadn't really walked through it myself to see where everyone was kind of at. But I think all Oilers fans kind of know that everyone's locked in there. Just kind of hope that guys like Janmark and Fogle can be stopgaps in a way, and then you get your Holloways and Lavoies that take the next step and become real NHL players, and then you can get those guys on cheaper deals too. And it kind of everything will all work out for the team. And if it's Holland or Steos or Brad Holland or whoever it may be, then I think the Oilers will be good to go.
So a lot of people are saying I have to be in timeout because I brought up trading or buying out Jack Campbell.
But
that's next year. It's a year from now. Everybody, calm down. Calm down.
Season 2 of the show, new rule book.
Let's catch up with what everyone's saying in the chat. The chat line today is brought to you by our friends at Star Mechanical. Find them online, starmechanical.ca. They have a lot of good plumbers on staff, Liam.
Yep. I've heard. You talk about it all the time.
All the time. All those Red Seal journeymen. StarMechanical.ca. They can also help you with 24/7 emergency repair. You never know when you're going to need it. It's always good. Just save their number in your phone. That's a smart way to do it.
I have all our sponsors on my phone.
Damn right.
Sherwood Ford, Sherbucks. I got a question for you.
Okay, then we'll get into the chat.
Alex DeBrincat finally got traded. Thoughts on the situation, not only with the trade, because I thought the trade itself was actually fairly good both ways. Obviously, Detroit get the scoring.
But when you factor in what Ottawa gave up for him a year ago,
that doesn't help. But what they got back was still decent. Kubalik's good. The prospect they got was at the World Juniors a couple of years ago. They got a first-round pick. Yeah, and then the fourth-round pick, kind of whatever. But yeah, when you factor in everything, but considering they were basically had a no-trade list without having a no-trade list because they had to sign. So you factor in a trade, but I also want to ask you specifically on the Detroit Red Wings. What do you think? They have such a weird team because to me, Yzerman was the Yzerman plan in Tampa Bay was draft and develop. In Detroit is sign everyone. Yeah. And I don't get it. The defense, you look at it, there's some good players there, Mo Sider. I actually like Ollie Matter a bit too. Jake Wallman's real good. But then you also have Justin Hall, Ben Sherratt, and Shane Gostisbehere. I know the Ghost deal is 1 year, so it's kind of whatever, but it's just such a weird thing that's happening. I don't get it.
On a Stanley Cup contender, Mata, Hall, Gostisbehere, and Sherratt are third pairing guys.
Yes.
They have a great top pairing. Sider and Wallman's really good.
Really good.
They have no second pairing.
Zero.
And I think when you look at their forward group, isn't it kind of more of the same?
They have a great first line.
Right? If you're rolling Larkin, DeBrincat, and Raymond next year, that's really good.
And then
bunch of third liners. Confer's good, but how good's Confer going to be out of Colorado?
Aren't JT Confer and Andrew Copp pretty much the same?
Probably. David Perron at this point in his career, again, on a Stanley Cup team, he's probably a third liner.
Yeah.
Klim Kostin on a Stanley Cup team is a fourth liner. Sprong's a third liner. Fisher's a third liner. Just a lot of mid on that roster. And their goaltending isn't a lock to be good next year. Husso didn't have a great season to start in Detroit. James Reimer, father time defeats all. He's a fine backup, but you never know when that guy's going to fall off a cliff.
Reimer's an interesting case because I think for the last few years, we've all been he's on a terrible team. He must be good. But if he was good, why is he only getting a deal for $1 million? And I know everything was kind of weird with the cap and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. The Yzer plan just seems to be going off the rails a little bit. I don't think they're a playoff team in the Atlantic Division. We went over it the other day. You've got Boston, Toronto, Tampa Bay, Buffalo, Florida, Detroit, Ottawa, and then who am I missing? Montreal.
Yeah.
I think the 5 I named on this hand in Boston, Toronto, Tampa, Florida, and Buffalo will all be better than Detroit next season, no?
Yeah.
They're
not a playoff team.
I don't get it. And now they've got these guys. I know some of the guys are only 1 year deals, like Gostisbehere and Reimer, and I think the one other guy, David Perron, has 1 year left in his deal too. But it's just when are you finally going to kind of take up a step here? They have that Simon Edvinsson, I believe, is a top prospect.
He could be a player, man.
Yeah, and
probably pretty quickly too.
Why aren't you playing him? I'm just very lost in the process they have going on here. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I don't think you're that far off. I think It's not being built in the way I thought Yzerman would build it.
Me too.
It's
Yeah.
kind of the confusing part in Detroit.
Because last summer it was very good.
Yeah,
thought the
last summer it was
very
them,
good.
Ottawa, and Buffalo, and it was like, who's going to take a jump out of that crew? And now I think you look at it, and it's very clearly going to be Buffalo.
Yes, very clearly.
Yeah. Let's dig into what the chat's saying. Shout out to Star Mechanical again. Christopher Palmer, our boy, says sad news today. Nail Yakupov staying in the KHL next season. He inked a 1-year deal with his hometown team. Yes, I know Wanye is so beat up about this. He's so sad.
He brought it up in our weekly meeting.
Yeah, we have a weekly Tuesday meeting, and you're supposed to give an update on what you're doing, like for work that week. And Wanye just said he was upset about Yak, and that was it.
That was it. Rightfully
Anyway.
so.
Christopher Walkling says, who's ready for 2 hours of Oilers Nation every day? Don't have that much time because we're going to test drive. They have an F-150 out there we're going to test drive.
Bronco, right? And a Mustang?
We got a Ford Bronco Sport that we might take off-roading this afternoon.
Feels dangerous.
And a Mustang GT. That feels dangerous.
I'll be taking that one off-roading too. Don't tell them.
We're going to have some fun video content coming out today at Sherwood Ford. Adam Anderson is in and says, although it feels weird, and once again, sucks for Edmonton radio, congrats on claiming the noon hour. We did it.
Finally. Sorry, Bob. Sorry you were so scared. I take that back. You're a great man.
Yeah. This is like, you know those highlights you'll sometimes see where opponent just throws the puck up the middle and you just pick it off and put it right in?
Yeah.
We didn't do any work.
No.
But we won the noon hour.
All we did was not go on the radio. And we took over the internet, people. And we're here to stay. We're going to 6 hours next year.
Well,
maybe. Allegedly. We'll see what our boss is.
Remember we asked people on our last show, we're like, hey, should we go to 2 hours? And everyone was like, no, you're good.
No.
You're good at an hour, guys. That's about enough.
Yeah, we hear enough of you. Your shitty jokes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We have a good game today.
Yeah, we do. We'll get into that. I want to catch. I missed the chat.
Okay.
Tyler me like 8 hours of Oilers Nation every day. Wow.
Yeah, that would be something.
No, probably not. Good and you says, are we changing the name of this show to Oilers Nation whenever Yaremchuk feels like it?
Well, actually, it is a fun little thing. This will be our last show for the next month of just me and you and Aaron.
Because next week I'm gone.
And then I'm gone for 3 weeks.
Well, you're taking 3 weeks off?
3-week vacation.
Who the hell signed off on that?
I'm traveling the world, people. Maybe I'll sign in one day from I'll log in wherever I am.
Yeah.
I think one of the days actually that we'll be doing the show with the time difference, I should be at a Bolton Wanderers game.
Oh.
So live from the stadium. We'll see.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Show my internet will hold up.
Alrighty. What else we got going on here? Some fear about his arbitration, that being Ryan McLeod. Sure. Some people talking about the golf tournament. Hello. Oilers Nation golf tournament coming up on September 1.
Yep.
Over at the Millwoods Golf Course. If you head to nationgear.ca now, it's the first thing that pops up. You have two options. One, sign up your squad of $4. $1,000, $250 a pop, gets you a sweet swag bag, a guaranteed good time. You'll see us there. Round of golf with your boys, scramble style, and then a great meal after. The meal at these things is always very, very good. Delicious. And it all goes to charity as well. It's going to Gregor's Grads. If you are solo and you're like, I don't have 3 friends, or maybe you have 3 friends, but they don't golf, you can sign up as a Mosaic golfer. One piece, $250, gets you in the tournament the same way. And you're going to be, I think I'm kind of in charge of making the teams too.
Okay.
So I'll recognize some names. We could put together some people who are all ON Everyday listeners.
That'd be cool.
Maybe if you're a real life listener, we'll loop a bunch of them together. And me and you, there's a chance me and you might slide into some Mosaic teams.
That would be nice. I went golfing yesterday, and I want people to know that if we golf together, don't be afraid. Because I will also shank it off to the left and the right and everywhere else.
See, I set a personal best the other day, though.
Oh, me too. High school. It was it was good. I went to Eagle Rock. You ever golf there? It's a great golf course.
I have been out there before, actually.
It's a lovely little spot.
Not bad. It's only, from here in Sherwood Park, it's only 20 minutes?
Yeah, right down the 14, I think it is, 21, whatever it is, by Bowman. Sure. So, yeah, not bad.
Sure. People are excited to be back in the chat. I love it. Tyler Mulick said Noah Cates is also a really good two-way guy. Yeah, that probably gives him a bit more value than a piece like Ryan McLeod. Dangerous Wade says, I don't understand why Holland doesn't just get Liam to negotiate all of his contracts. Why not?
We get a lot done. I'll tell you that much.
Eric Richards wants to know if you're going to France while you're gone.
Yes, but TBD.
A
little crazy in France right now.
Yeah, I'm not very caught up on my geopolitical issues.
It looks like a lot of the stuff that is going down is not in Paris, yet. But the good news is, if I lose the money, at least I don't have to pay for another hotel in England. I know a couple of people that live there.
Yeah, you got connections. Hey?
Yeah, so she'll be fine. But we are very aware. Thank you.
Reed Graham wants to know what's the lowest round anyone's ever shot.
I shot an 87 once. And that was elite for me. I don't think I ever broke 90 since.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't golf that much though, like once a week. If that.
Yeah, this year not so much. Last summer I was golfing like once, twice a week if I could. But
we should have gone today once we tested out the cars.
We could have some great golf courses around here. Mill Woods is pretty close.
Yeah, actually, today would have been a great day to just scatter off to Mill Woods. Did you do the puck doku today?
I'm halfway through.
I'm missing one.
Do you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, Tyler. My NHL history doesn't go too much further than like 2005. I know what happened, but I don't know where a lot of the players went. So I really struggled to kind of nail down some things. I nailed the Boston line very easily.
Allmark, that's a good one. I didn't even think about him.
Yeah, I haven't cracked the bottom 6 yet.
I'm missing everyone except that bottom middle one. So I'm gonna keep working on it. Yeah, but I don't want any spoilers. So
I got that one.
Oh, interesting.
Do you want me to tell you?
No, because that'll be cheating, and then my group chat will be mad at me.
6% on that one.
Oh, that's a good one. Damn. Yeah. I need to think long and hard about that.
Let's see if anyone can guess it in the chat.
Odin said 85 made me feel like a professional. When you're having that round of your life,
it feels good.
It's the best feeling in the world.
I had so me and 2 of my buddies went to Silvertip in Canmore a few years ago, and I made a bet with my friend that whoever had the better score on that day would pay for that person's room for the night. So it was like a $200 bet, and I was killing it all day, and he's way better than me. I'm hitting everything, every green, every fairway, whatever you needed. I get to, I think it's 16 or 17 where it's the par 3, shank it right into the bush.
Oh no.
Hit a 7.
Oh,
really? And I threw my club. I was so annoyed. Bad day. Bad day.
That's annoying. Maynard says, I'm hearing some Maxime Comtois rumblings. Yeesh. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think the Oilers can't afford $1 million player.
The Oilers
they're dealing in $775 or less right now.
The Oilers got 2 bigger projects to worry about before they worry about Maxime Comtois.
Exactly.
Lavoie not even signed yet. You
Yeah.
got to get Lavoie on there too.
Should be pretty straightforward with him though.
He should be for sure.
But yeah, like he's not waiver eligible anymore. So like you probably want to keep him up on the roster if he has a good camp. So Oilers Nation fan is in. I agree with McLeod. Don't really think he's all that great. Skates around at 100 miles per hour. Doesn't do a whole lot by himself. I think you need to look at his production a little bit closer. 11 goals, 23 points in 57 games. That's what, a 16 goal pace or something like that, with none of it coming on the power play, 2 of them coming shorthanded. So you got a guy who's 23 years old, has some size to his game, skates like the wind, can help out on your PK, and produces a very respectable amount of offense, getting basically no minutes with McDavid and Draisaitl. I think I understand the frustrations with him. He doesn't shoot the puck all that much, only 78 shots in 57 games last year. You'd like to see that number be up in 57 games. I want him shooting the puck twice a game when you consider how much the puck's on his stick in the offensive zone and off the rush. If he works on his shot a little bit, I think this is a guy who can pop you 18 goals next year.
Yeah, I think so too. And you said all that stuff, right? And the top 6 thing is the biggest thing for me. Like, he plays such a huge role on his team that Nugent-Hopkins doesn't have to be that third line center anymore. Can play in the top 6 with Draisaitl and McDavid, and it allows your big guns to kind of fly a little bit when Ryan McLeod can be out there. And you got to think too, what's this now? His 2nd full season in the NHL, 2nd or 3rd, if maybe
he's played
3rd.
138 career games. He hasn't even played the equivalent of 2 full seasons.
So
give him time.
Yeah, he's right there for me, and he's taken huge jumps in the last year. I think he kind of deserves to go to arbitration in a way for himself. I'm obviously a little frustrated by it because you want every player on a bargain deal because you want your team to win the Stanley Cup. But Ryan McLeod deserves a little bit of money here.
Yeah, and he did them a solid last year, right? Yeah.
So
one of our summer bits, Liam, although we're not going to be together for the next 4 weeks. So I think that means Aaron will have to sub in for him.
Yes. So
basically
next week,
yeah. Here's what we're doing. We're calling it the big list. It's brought to you by Betway. 19 plus, please play responsibly. Did you see before we get into the big list, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. last night.
I did.
34% of the public money was on Vladdy to win it, like between plus 300 and plus 400.
Really?
That is substantial.
The home run derby is.
I like that you said derby.
Yeah, derby.
That makes sense.
It's an interesting one.
I love it.
I like it a lot too, but man, just absolutely gash yourself out. I feel like the longer it goes, like the more exhausted you get. Like that Julio Rodriguez 41,
dude,
that is crazy.
But how sweet was it? He came up and hit like 5 of his first 6 pitches out of the yard, and like that place was rocking. It was so cool. But you're right, he gassed himself.
100%.
Even saw Vladdy at the end of the first round when he started to get in a bit of a groove, and then he kind of started to get tired, and he just kind of stopped with 10 seconds left. He was like, I'm done. He easily beat Mookie, but
you kind of want to go second in a way. Because then you know the tone you have to hit. Like
if Julio could have gone second, then he would have stopped at 28. Who knows, right?
Like Pete Alonso goes up, and you kind of know you're not smacking 42 home runs, right?
Yeah.
So you know you can balance yourself a little.
But good
bit.
for Vladdy. I want a little bit of money off
yeah.
it. Shout out to Betway for that one.
Second Cuban to ever do it.
Yeah, the ESPN said he was graphic said he was Cuban. He's a handful of things. He's definitely not Cuban.
Yeah, he's definitely not Cuban.
Yeah. So anyways, big list today, kind of a little bit inspired by the fact that it's baseball's midsummer break here. Liam, we are going to be going with the 5 worst unwritten rules in sports. These are things that are not technically in the rule book. They are things that happen and that are a part of the code, if you want to call it that. So feel free in the YouTube chat, drop it in there. Good News says you guys made it 27 minutes before switching sports. Record? Come on. This next segment is going to be about a lot of other sports. Again, we are ranking our 5 worst, the ones we hate, unwritten rules in all of sports. So let's get going. I will take my first one off the board here, Liam, and it is in baseball, anytime you are intentionally hitting a batter. You know, you see a lot of like the guy pimps a home run, guy celebrates a little bit too much, whatever it is, guys getting a little mouthy, and the pitcher just beans them. I mean, there are very few things in sports where you're like, that could very easily kill someone or like permanently damage them in a significant way. Throwing a baseball 98 miles per hour at someone could definitely do that if it slips a little bit. So my number 1 is intentionally hitting a batter.
Yeah, I think that one's fair. Although I did see the Joe Kelly clip the other day of when he beamed that guy on the Yankees, and I kind of was all for that.
I think it's weird in baseball how quickly they'll jump to that. Like, I'll just bean them.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Seems extreme.
Just chirp him on first.
A common one that's coming into the chat, Mulick and Odin both said it. It's fighting after a clean hit in hockey. That's good.
I don't know if I'm with that one. Because the one that, and this comes to mind, I can't remember who spoke about it, but it was the Calgary one this year when Kadri got laid out and Dylan Dubé kind of just jumped in, and everyone's like, Dubé didn't even see it. But what he did see was his teammate hurt flat out on the ice.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of 50-50.
I didn't have that one on my list for that reason, because I'm 50-50 on it. What's your first?
My first one is, we got it there. I'll just read it. Yeah. Dribbling out the clock in basketball. Now, this one goes both ways for me. Okay. Number 1, I think it's okay that players go and challenge those players who are up big and then like try and get more points. But number 2, people get mad when they shoot. Clock's still running, baby.
It's professional sports.
You can do what you want. No one's gonna go home and cry to the mom.
Yeah,
like the game on. I think that should be. It's stupid. It's stupid that people take so much respect against it. I guess
someone in the chat here, Odin also said, not being allowed to hit home runs when you have a big lead. That goes along the same thing.
Similar.
Like, I hate that in baseball. And people are like, oh, they're running up the score. It's like, it's professional sports. If your feelings are hurt, you're a millionaire.
You'll be fine.
You know?
You'll be fine.
All right. My number 2 on my list. This one really, really bugs me. I almost put it in my number 1 slot. It is the whole don't step on the team's logo in the locker room in hockey.
Ooh.
It drives me nuts. I hate it so much. When you're playing in the game, you skate over your team's logo multiple times throughout the course of the game. Think of all the other places where the team's logo could be. On the concourse of the arena, maybe you have like a cool thing on the ground. The logo's there. People step on it. The idea that like media get in trouble and people are just like, don't step on the logo, don't step on the logo. It's very dumb. It's a piece of carpet. You're fine.
What my argument with you is, put it on the roof.
That too.
Put it on
Why
the
are
roof.
you putting it on the ground if it's held in such high regard? The whole no stepping on the team's logo in the room is incredibly stupid.
Yeah, that's a silly one. Okay, my second one here. Let me pull up my phone. Over celebrating. People who get mad at these athletes who do something huge and then
Oh, the whole act like you've been there before thing? I hate
screw
that.
off. There's a big moment, no matter what it was, right? And it's the Batista bat flip one is a big one for me. The Nail Yakupov knee slide.
Great.
Huge
You know
moment.
how many kids love that?
Yeah, I love it. Like
Exactly.
Yakupov, that was his first big goal in the NHL. And maybe it was a bit much. But who gives a fuck, to be honest? Like, come on. Let's have some fun in sports.
Mulek was actually with you. He commented this before you said yours. Anything along the lines of not being able to celebrate sports is entertainment.
Yep.
Someone else said in hockey, you can run out the clock, but like you really can't. You dump and chase to some extent and whatnot, but like in hockey, you never, I know score effects is kind of a thing because you'll go into the more like defensive prevent defense, but you never just like see someone stand behind the net for like a minute and a half, just being like, let's just run this bad boy out. It doesn't happen the same way it does in some other sports. What else do we got going on in the chat here? Some people are pushing back on me. Mulek said, I'm a firm believer in the locker room. Don't step on the logo. Keep it clean. Dangerous Wade said, carpet logo is more important than colored frozen water logo. That just illustrates my point. If it's so important, don't put it on the floor. And what we're saying that the carpet version of the logo is that like carpet is something we're holding in high regard now. Like that's the only difference here because clearly it's not the logo. It's the fact it's carpet.
Depends on the carpet, I suppose.
Yeah. All right. My number 3 on my list, Liam, is in baseball. And this happened with the Jays not that long ago. No bunting to break up a no-hitter. I think this one, it kind of goes along your first one as well. But like throwing a no-hitter is hard.
Yes.
And also bunting is legal and a fine way to get a hit. The idea that it's like you can bunt for a base hit in the first inning, second inning, third inning, fourth inning. But if you're in like the 6th inning and you're getting no hit, it's like, whoa. You can't bunt now. Now is like, it's just so arbitrary and nonsensical. So I have no bunting to break up a no-no in my 3 spot.
This is the only one we had that was exactly the same, Tyler.
Oh, really?
This is the one I had on there too. I'm with you. Who cares if they're trying to have a perfect game? You know what you're trying to do? Win the game. Yeah. Not up to you. It's not down to you to get that guy a perfect game.
Your third baseman can make the play.
Yeah.
How about that? Hey. You know, it's the same. It'd be like, again, like if you're arguing that, it'd be like, oh man, this guy was swinging out of his shoes when he had a no-hitter. Like, are you supposed to just lay over him? Like, all right, just take it easy. If we get a hit, we get one. If not, it's fine. This guy's pitching good. Dumb.
Or it's like in hockey, if like Jack Campbell had that shutout going super late against San Jose and it was like 7-0. It's like, why is San Jose shooting? He's on pace for a shutout. It's just like, no, like it's not your goal.
That reminded me that I wanted to change my 5th one, but I'll make it a honorable mention at the end. Number 4 in hockey, no touching the conference final trophy. They've kind of gone away from this one recently.
That's swayed,
I love in baseball that when they win the division, when they win a playoff round, they celebrate. It's a long season. And I think it's important to celebrate the milestones along the way. You kind of hear guys even talk about like when they won the Stanley Cup, like their best memories are winning the cup, but their best memories are the moments along the way. And they wish they would have savored it a little bit more because you're so caught up in the moment. There's nothing wrong when you win the conference, stepping back and being like, God damn, we accomplished something pretty cool here. No touching the conference final trophy, number 4.
Yeah, I like that one a lot, actually. So my last 2 both soccer related ones. So this one, I might seem like a bit of a douchebag for saying this one, but having to kick the ball out for an injured player, I don't think. Soccer. Yes,
I didn't even know that was a thing.
So it's supposed to be like a sportsman thing, and I agree. Like obviously, sometimes there's occasions where a guy is seriously hurt. However, it shouldn't be down to the players to determine when that moment is. The officials on the field should be able to know when that has occurred, and that's it. Because sometimes, you know, in men's league it's a bit different, but in professional, like this guy's flying around everywhere if you give him a little flick, so you don't really know who's hurt and not hurt. So I think that needs to be eliminated.
Brent is in and says, brutal take on the logo. The dressing room is sacred. If the logo in the locker room was so sacred, don't put it on the floor where people need to walk. Like, I don't understand it at all. I think it's so dumb. It's a piece of carpet. If the team has a welcome mat outside the doors of their arena with their logo on it, do you not step on that? Like, you know what I mean? It's just such a dumb little thing. I'm like, don't do it.
Although every time I see a logo, I do avoid it. if it's on carpet.
Mm-hmm.
I do my
Dave
best.
Lund says, if the bunt is to break up the no-no but won't help you win, do you still say go for it? Why not? I don't want to get no hit.
How do you know how do you know that doesn't like ignite something?
Exactly. You never know. You
I don't
can't give
know.
away outs.
Like, it's a shitty thing
Yeah.
to do. I'm not denying that.
Yeah. Like, I
Like,
mean, I'm
it's
sure the
greasy.
pitcher will be mad at you, but I just think the idea of like, you're a bad sport for doing, again, that one is like my professional sports one, whatever.
Yes.
Okay. And my last one, I need to preface it. Big preface. Okay.
Okay.
This is not for professional sports. My fifth one is only for amateurs and people like us.
Okay.
People make way too big of a deal of stepping on someone's line when you're just playing at a local golf
Yes.
course. Okay. When you are playing wherever, beautiful courses around the city, Millwood's golf course included. When you're playing, someone makes a putt and they go pick up their ball and someone goes, "Oh, come on, that's right in my line."
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you're golfing at 2:00 in the afternoon, 80 people have already walked all over that
Yes.
green. How many divots aren't fixed along that green? How many bumps are there? Like, again, we're not shooting at Augusta here. And in the pros, I get it, because every little thing could be big difference money-wise, all
for
of
sure.
that. And I know I'm probably going to catch some flack from the golf hardos that are probably watching the show right now. But when you're at a local course, the greens are they're kind of compromised already.
Yeah.
Even if they're immaculate, they're compromised already.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a big deal if you're making a 14-foot putt. If someone happened to maybe step on the edge of your line, it's not worth the freak out that some people make. Sure, you can be courteous of it and
Yeah, for
mindful
sure.
of it, but the people who see it happen are like, "Whoa, no, I'm never going to make this 14-footer for bogey."
Yeah,
Come on.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
I'm glad you prefaced that to say that's for amateurs, because I read it and I thought, man, it's a big deal in professional golf. But yes, when I went golfing the other day, there was no regard for the line. Just walk where you got to walk. I'm going to miss it anyway. I'm going to hope that you give me a gimme when I put it close enough to the hole. My final one, and I don't know how people are going to respond to this one. That's why I put it last. Not allowing players to wear a jersey that isn't retired yet.
Oh,
I don't like that. If it's not retired, then it should be available to wear.
Ryan Smith, 94.
I mean, it's a bold one to take, but it's an option for the team.
Yeah, that's fair. If it's actually that important, retire it.
If it's that important, retire the jersey. That's
I
my
think that's fair.
my big thing. There's obviously some stuff in it, like unfortunate things, like maybe a player gets seriously injured or like a death, unfortunately. But like maybe avoid those ones. But for the most part, like the numbers there, snap it up. There you go. Unless that's my take on the fifth one.
Fair enough.
Do you agree or disagree with that one? Because the big thing for me was like in soccer is a big one. It was like, oh, he's wearing number 7.
I just think it's like,
what does it matter?
Yeah.
You know?
I just think it's maybe not worth the headache sometimes for players.
Sure.
Like,
Pugliarvi.
the Pugliarvi one was dumb, actually. That one was on
Yes.
everyone else, not on JP. Like, you can wear 98. That's fine. But, like, if a player were to come to Edmonton and wear 94, I'd be like, bold, and probably not the best way to endear yourself to the fan base would be my counter argument.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair. Like, you gotta be good to do it. But if it's there, grab it. I don't see the issue.
Christopher Palmer, that's the difference between 99 and 100, Tyler. Come on, man. Yeah, like that's just kind of my beef with it is like, again, you're not playing on the pros. The greens are not immaculate.
Yeah, like,
Someone made the joke that sometimes stepping on my line will help me make the putt. Like, and again, hey, if your putt is going right for the hole and right where a guy stepped, it bumped and lipped out, just take it. Just take it. Who cares? It's your own score, bro.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. You're not playing professional golf.
Yeah,
The people
find yourself.
The people at the local courses who take the rules, like, there needs to be some sort of order. I get that. And golf is a sport that's kind of built on those fundamentals. But some people take it way too seriously.
I went golfing, like I said, the other day, and I went with my girlfriend, and we actually got paired up with 2 random people who, fortunately enough, we actually knew but didn't know we were going with them.
Okay.
So I'm golfing with them, and my ball shockingly goes into the trees and goes into the fence. And the guy goes, "Take a club length." I'm like, buddy, I'm throwing this thing out of the tree. It's like, It's my score. I will take it how I like. And he's like, "Oh, you're just not even going to use a club?" No, I'm going to move it out of the tree so I don't end up here for the rest of my round. Paid $60 for this. I'm going to enjoy myself.
Damn right. Damn right. What else do we got going on in the chat here? A lot of argument about my logo on the floor of the locker room thing. I just put it on the roof if it's that important.
Yeah.
That you made a great point of that. Oh, and my honorable mention, when broadcasters or anybody says the word shutout during a goalie's performance.
You think that's dumb?
The goalie can't hear you.
Yeah, it's true.
If we're watching the game at a bar and I go, oh damn, he's 8 minutes away from a shutout.
You said it.
You
Skinner's
know?
not going to shut out game one.
When I do play-by-play, I make a point of doing it. It's
really?
it's just and again, like I get it that it's fun, right? It's like a fun little like, oh, don't say it. But the people who are like, he jinxed it, what? And they like get mad. It's like, whoa, again, kind of like stepping on a line. It's like, hey, you stepped on my line. LOL, joke about it, whatever, you're fine. But the people who are like mad, someone in here was like, my dad once chewed me out for 3 minutes because I stepped on his line for a 3-foot putt. It's like, you're fine. Everyone's fine. Same thing with shutout. Like if you want to joke about it, sure. But the people who actually get mad about it, you're a loser.
Christopher Palmer asked for an honorable mention. I only have one. Pretty much all unwritten rules are dumb. If they're that important, make them a rule.
Yeah,
that's kind of my thing. But that was a fun one. What do we have an idea for next week yet, or does Aaron have to choose that one?
I think we're gonna make Aaron come up with it. Aaron, it's on you, okay?
Roger that. I got a couple ideas already in the brain. Do you want to hear them now?
Sure. Let's hear some of your ideas.
Okay, so some of them, I saw some in the chat here, but one that I thought would be a great idea is like the worst mistakes in sports history. Now, whether that be in contracts, whether that be in like Bill Buckner letting the first baseball go through his legs, I thought that there could be a lot of spin to go with that one. What do you think?
I got one locked in.
Do you have any other ideas? Let's give do we have a couple
potentials? I got some. I wanted one just I thought would be visually appealing was if you guys picked your favorite logos in the 4 major sports, but that's been kind of done before.
Yeah.
Exactly, something like that. I asked in the chat, so if anybody has any ideas, we got a whole week to prepare.
All right.
Yes, we do.
All right, we got a whole week. So tune in next week when it's Liam and Aaron on the show on Tuesday because I'm on vacation. And we'll see what the big list is for next week. We'll do that. Hopefully have some Oilers news to chat about as well. A lot of you throwing in your biggest mistakes in sports in there. Yeah.
That's a conversation.
Yeah, that could turn into a really, really long conversation there. So there you go. There's our big list and a couple of honorable mentions brought to you by our friends at Betway 19+. Please play responsibly. Wimbledon's on. You getting in on betting on Wimby?
No, I've not been looking at the bets on it, but I saw there was the big upset today in the women's.
Really?
I believe both underdogs made it to the semifinals who played today, and then Milos Raonic had a pretty good tournament, I believe, too. But F1 was this past weekend. Lando Norris, big one, the British Grand Prix. 2 British drivers on the podium. And then also, have you heard the thing about the F1 movie that they're filming?
No.
So Brad Pitt.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I saw some pictures about the story.
And so Brad Pitt and his co-star, I don't know his name, filming this F1 movie, but they essentially were the 11th team on the track. So they would did some practice laps with them on the track, I believe, and walk down to everything. And just so in the movie, when you watch it, it'll be those shots from Silverstone this past weekend, which is very cool. But coming up is the Open is next weekend.
Oh yeah,
the first weekend I'm in England.
That's great.
That'll be a good one.
You're not getting out to it, are you?
No, I think it's in St Andrews this year.
Yeah.
So I'll be in London the first few days I get there.
There was another good one in here. People were talking about golf rules. Tyler Mulick said wearing a collared shirt. I'm kind of with that, especially when it's cold out. If I want to golf in a hoodie, I am golfing in a hoodie, and no one will stop me.
Yeah, Yeah, that's probably a good one.
I like wearing collared shirts because I like the look of it. I like the vibes. Look good, play good. But if someone was golfing in just a plain athletic T-shirt, I wouldn't be like, you're an idiot. Yeah. It's just whatever, man. Wear whatever you want. We both paid the same to be here. I don't really care. Someone else said, let me listen to music while I golf. And I'm on the fence with that one. And then I saw Jack Williams comment, and it's perfect. Play music from your cart, but if I can hear you from another hole over, turn your music way down.
I agree.
If anyone can hear you that is outside of your little bubble, wherever you are on the course, it's too loud.
I agree. I'm not really
supposed to be quiet and relaxing. If the music helps you relax, have at her. I don't want to hear it though.
I'm not a massive music guy.
I'm not either.
Sherwood Park bike gang going by here.
Liam, they're 8.
You can never be too sure.
All right. That really derailed you, eh? That threw you right. Can we fast forward the F1 talk? All right. Shell Iverson said I look hungover. I'm definitely not hungover. It's a Tuesday, which I guess, I've been hungover on Tuesdays before, but I'm not hungover right now, to answer your question. A lot of fun being out at Sherwood Ford for today's edition of the show. I see the F-150 we're test driving.
Oh, yeah, that looks a nice one.
The F-150's engine provides ample towing and hauling capabilities, ensuring that the owners can tackle demanding jobs with ease. Liam, did you know that?
No, I did not. What other tracks do you have, Tyler?
We're going to be test driving a Ford Bronco, which I think is right there, that gray one.
That looks
Ford
nice.
Bronco Sport stands out with its distinctive and rugged design. Features like the available front tow hooks, never know when you need them, skid plates, and all-terrain tires contribute to its off-road aesthetic.
Very nice.
We're also going to be driving a Mustang GT, not just any Mustang, a Mustang GT. Features an iconic design that pays homage to the classic Mustangs of the past. Its muscular and aggressive stance, distinctive front grille, and sleek lines contribute to its timeless appeal.
There you go. What was it? What was that last thing you said? I had a pun, but I missed it.
Shout out to Sherwood Ford the Giant for having us for today's show and for being a big sponsor of all of our off-season shows. Also to the Sports Closet for always letting us bring the Sports Closet studio on the road. Betway, the Oilers Nation Open, which is coming up September 1st. Find out how you can get in at nationgear.ca, as well as Cornerstone Insurance, cornerstoneins.ca/nation to get an online tenant or condo insurance quote in just a few minutes. Use the discount code NATION for an exclusive rate. If you're looking to get insurance, maybe you come to Sherwood Ford, you get a new vehicle, you got to get it insured. You do what I did with the Nation truck. You go to Cornerstone Insurance, use that promo code NATION, get yourself a banging deal. Ain't that right? Brand synergy.
Yep.
All right. Thanks to everyone who tuned in on the Oilers Nation YouTube. We'll be back again next Tuesday with a new edition of the show. Keep it locked on the channel, though. Hit subscribe for some other podcast-related content and some stuff we're doing. Thursday includes the Nation Real Life Home Run Derby.
Yeah.
So look for that new episode of Nation Real Life to find out if any of us could hit the ball out of Remax Field. Doubtful. And Friday, Oodle Noodle has a new hot box, and we're doing, me and Jay, then it's you and Aaron, are doing the hot box challenge, where you have to answer questions while you try to eat the hot box.
All right.
There you go.
My palate is mild, but I will do my best.
So is mine. That is a wrap on today's edition of the show. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next Tuesday.